Hey yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Gomelgofx channel. It's your boy. Um, right now on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the next to gold. Um, the runner up against gold. You know what I mean? So um, right now we are on the weekly time frame. Let's look at the weekly time frame. What do we see? We see that definitely the market is bullish. Definitely gold. Definitely, sorry about that. Definitely, Bitcoin is bullish, and where's Bitcoin headed? Where's Bitcoin headed? Obviously, Bitcoin is headed towards this area right here. We have put my um, horizontal line. Bitcoin is headed towards the previous all-time high that it created earlier on. So let's go down to the daily time frame and really dive deeper and really look at what's going on in the market. Um, as you guys can see, I want you guys to notice something with Bitcoin. I want you guys to notice something with Bitcoin. Yeah, I want you guys to look at where I'm marking. You know, look at where I'm marking with these, and it happens a lot. You know what I mean? It happens a lot. You know what I mean? Also here, it also happened. Boom. Look at that. You know, it happens a lot. Whenever it's like going up, it shows you that, hey, I'm gonna give you a sign. I'm gonna give you a sign that I want to go up. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Look at that. You know, it was here. It went up. It came back down and swept that low and continued to go all the way towards the upside. Let's look at it again. It came here, it went up, it came down to take out this low. And then what did it do? It went up again. It was here, it went up, it came down to take out that low before it went up. Also here, with the current, the current, price action, where the market is right now, the same thing, it went up, came down to take out which low? This low. And then what is it doing right now? It's going up, you know. So the market always repeats itself. The market always does the same thing. Sorry about that, The market always does the same thing, It always repeats itself, you know. It's just a matter of, you being patient, um, with the markets, you being patient with your setup, you being patient with whatever it is that you might be looking at that point in time, you know, on your computer, on your phone, on your laptop, whatever it is. Patience. Patience is the name of the game. You know what I mean? If you want to stick in the game for a very long time, you need to be patient. Right now, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Right now, we are on the 4-hour time frame. Um, um, there's a big pattern, that it has created, that a lot of people are talking about, let's do this, uh, you know, it created that pattern, Now it has broken out of that pattern. Where's it headed? To the previous high, towards the upside. It's headed there, the 90% rule, Obviously, Bitcoin is going to go much more further than this, It's going to go much more higher, But right now, focus on the current price action. Focus on what Bitcoin is doing right now. But I'm not saying don't have a vision and visualize it reaching 250,000. A lot of market analysts are saying that Bitcoin will get to 1,250,000. I'm not disputing that. I'm not denying that. But focus on what's happening right now. Be present. In the markets. Be present. Focus on what's happening right now. Um, trading the current price action. You need to focus on that. And be a student of the markets. Always learn. Each and every day is an opportunity for you to learn something. That's how I look at life. Each and every single day, it's an opportunity for me to learn something. It's either from YouTube, from a book, from somebody else. There's always an opportunity to learn something from, whatever situation that you might be in. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, in order not to confuse you guys, let me delete everything, and I want to show you guys something on the H1. I want to show you guys something on H1. I'm seeing that, you know what I mean? I'm seeing that the market is in a bullish, trend. You know what I mean? Look at that trend line. That trend line is telling you everything. As long as the market hasn't, breached this low, I'm not looking for sales. If the market does something like this, breaches this, and then do this, breaches this, and then does this, retest that area, and then I'll be looking for selling opportunities. You know what I mean? But the market hasn't shown you that it wants to sell or anything like that. All it's doing right now, it's showing you that it wants to go up. Look at this area right over here. Get this area right over here, right? Is it the area? Yes. Look at this area right over here. Boom. Look at that area over there. It was a proper resistance for a very long time. The market couldn't trade above this area. It came to this area, came back down. Didn't reach it here, but it tried. Came to that area, went down. Came to that area, went down, until finally, right now, it has breached that area. But I think on the H1, the market has retested this level. But I think that there's always an opportunity for the market to do what it wants to do. We are the followers of the market. We follow what the market shows us. We are basically the kids, of the market. We are the followers of the market. The market might want to come back and retest that area again. Who are we to even say anything to that? Our job is to follow the markets and look for possible opportunities and proper entries, and practice good risk management, and really trade our setups and follow our rules. You know what I mean? Trading is difficult and trading is risky, and I'm not gonna come here and tell you, follow your setup, you're always gonna get winning trades and all of that. I'm not gonna tell you that. Trading is risky, trading is difficult, trading is hard. This is not, something that, it's you can get into and expect to make quick cash. This is not it. you know. Trading is difficult, you know, and I've learned that, you know, over the years, you know, that you need to respect the markets, because the market will obviously humble you, you know, definitely humble you. So I'm not looking for any selling opportunities until we break this, you know, trend line. You know, if we get a proper break with a trend line, I like breakouts of, you know, when the market or when a candlestick is breaking out. I need to see a bigger candlestick. You know, I need to see a bigger candlestick to show you that, you know, the market is definitely breaking out of that zone or area. You know, I need to see a bigger candlestick. But if I don't see a bigger candlestick, you know, obviously on the higher time frame, you know, like here on the H1, you know, bigger candlestick, I need to see that, you know, like this one on the H4. Let me show you. Let me show you the candlestick that I'm talking about. Like this candlestick right over here. You see this candlestick that I'm highlighting? This candlestick right here. That's the candlestick I need to see, you know, to show you that, you know, this is a strong breakout, you know, that the market is breaking out significantly. It um wants to show up, you know, it wants to release the chains, you know, of being resistance, being resisted, you know, by the ceiling, you know. It wants to go up. So the market has definitely breaking out of that, you know, area. So all we have to do right now is wait for the market to show you that if it reaches this point right over here, if it reaches this point right over here on the right hand side, always look to the left. Oh, you need to, whenever you're trading, you need to always look to the your left hand side, you know, because the left hand side is always past data, you know. It's data that you need to look at to reference the present, you know, um, situation that is happening, you know, in the markets. So we need to look at on your left hand side, and then after looking on your left hand side, you need to see if whether the market is going to break out of that zone or area and go back down, or break out to go to the overall level, which is right over here, you know. You need to wait. You need to be patient, you know, with the markets, you know. Patience is how you make money in the markets, you know. And yeah, I really love Bitcoin. I really hope that more people educate themselves with Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and all of that, you know, because the world is changing, you know, and with the world changing, you need to adapt to what is happening in and around you. So get into Bitcoin, you know, learn yourself about Bitcoin, invest into Bitcoin. I know I'm not a financial advisor or some any sort, you know, but that's just my 2 cents, you know, my piece of advice, you know, trying to encourage people to learn about Bitcoin. Not even not even not even telling you to invest in Bitcoin, you know what I mean? You know, I'm just putting it out there that that's what I'm doing, you know. I'm invested in Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin and I love everything about it. You know, the world has changed, and it's going to change for the better. You know, and the blockchain cryptocurrency world, you know, it's showing us that you know, we need to move with the times. You know what I mean? And don't don't be left behind. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing. The market for me on Bitcoin is bullish. We're headed towards the upside, you know. But even if the market is going up towards the upside, the market moves in, you know, 3 phases: impulse move, correction, and continuation. You know what I mean? Just always be mindful of that. You know, the market is not going to always move in a straight line. You know, the market does goes up, fluctuates, you know, does all of that, you know. So my good people, that's just my 2 cents on Bitcoin. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos that I'm about to drop. And please share the video, like, comment, you know, tell me what you think about the type of content that I'm doing. Obviously, your feedback is important to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Yeah. Till the next one, people.